back to another video. One of the most requested topics I've ever gotten to discuss in a video is how to host a 𝙈𝙤𝙬𝙀 map. Maps, or multi-animator projects, are usually several minute-long animations featuring the talents of many artists. They all come together under a host's idea as an organization to animate a story/theme to a music video, or animate a voice-acted work. So, because I've been a successful host of many 𝙈𝙤𝙬𝙀 projects like this, I thought this video would be the perfect reference point for anybody else wanting to see their WAF map become a reality. There's lots to learn from this video, fanwings. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Jared95, Thistle, Noobto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pancake, Ascarada, Adequin, Enscleaver, Moonclaw, Isaac, Minecraft9, Pantala Resident, Tries the Furwing, Crystal, Phantom the Dragon, TurtleTheSeawing, Wolfyez, and Mistyy. Thank you all for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Maps are, without a doubt, some of the most popular videos in the 𝙈𝙤𝙬𝙀 fandom. Search them up on YouTube and you'll find several with millions of views, each telling a beautiful story and highlighting the talent that makes up this community. A lot of fandoms want to host their own, but have no idea where to start. I've made many maps before, 5 of which are about these books. Let me take you on a thorough guide to every step you'll need to have for a finished animated project. These tips and helping points go for any map based on fandom or OCs, and not just WAF specifically. Before you even begin brainstorming ideas, take a look at your channel. Unfortunately, due to the nature of maps and the big collaborations they warrant, you are going to need a following to start one up. If you worry about putting yourself out there, join 𝙈𝙤𝙬𝙀 communities online that permit advertising, and spread the word about your map call and YouTube page. I do believe that the best place you can be in to host is to have at least a few thousand or 100 subscribers, but that isn't manageable for everybody, especially not in the beginning. If you do have a small follower count at the moment, I don't want to dissuade you from trying. Advertise your channel where it's appropriate and just give it your attempt. Put your call out there once you feel comfortable it'll be seen and see what happens. The last thing you want is to cancel a map people put animation time and work into, so wait until things seem steady and there's interest on your channel for a call. Getting audience and size out of the way, take a look at yourself. Being a host is no easy feat, and I think trying it out by co-hosting or shadowing a map first would be a great idea. I kind of dove in head first myself, but asking what the experience is like wouldn't be a bad idea at all. I'm here if you have any questions on what to expect. Organizing an entire project that has so many moving parts, such as potentially dozens of artists, takes time, patience, and understanding, among many things. You need to be someone confident and active enough to lead a group, step in, and speak up. You need to be able to balance being flexible while also not letting people take advantage of that flexibility. Okay, so here comes the next step, planning your map. There are usually 2 different types of multi-animator projects. Number 1. Animators follow either a written description or visual storyboard to tell a particular story. And number 2, artists use their own OCs and just follow a particular theme or color palette to the provided song. In a map, animators complete parts that are a few seconds long, allowing the final product to come together as a smooth piece of combined animations. Maps either center around a song or voice-acted work. Decide which of these 2 primary paths would work best for what you want to do. And don't forget to choose your song early. Next, prepare for the technical path. Open up your video editor and begin splicing up parts. While some maps make parts very long or very short as a stylistic choice, I highly recommend you meet it in the middle. Making your part too long leaves animators less likely to finish and creates a real burden in production to complete much more work. Having them be too short introduces the problem of needing a way bigger starting team. I usually choose songs 3.5 minutes in length, and divide them with an average of 30 parts. That's the best healthy medium, but it depends on the song. Make the starting and ending points of the parts logical. Try not to cut them off mid-lyric unless it's a creative choice or a transition animation. I personally urge you not to make parts longer than 10 to 12 seconds. Mine are usually 7, and I've found it works best. If you're a small channel, really avoid offering more than 32 slots. You may have trouble filling them and finding people. Remember to have a backup team as well. People are going to drop out of the map, and you need to be ready to have an alternate animator willing to start or continue in their place. More on the application process in a little bit. You're going to need art for your map call. You can use one piece for the YouTube thumbnail and content. Your final upload should be the song uninterrupted with part divisions shown. Reference my map calls for an example. You can either draw the call art yourself or commission it. Make sure it's a piece that really pops to garner attention on the community's homepage. Once you have your call ready, or while waiting for that art, you're going to need an online document to display all the information for the team to use or preview prior to requesting a part. I use Google Docs as it's easy to use and navigate, and allows people to take a peek on any browser without needing to download files. Some hosts prefer Google Slides, which works as well. If neither are an option for you, aim for web PDFs, but make it a last choice so you can edit much easier. Clearly list the title of the map. It's usually the song, but it could also be another header if the song is not in any way recognizable, or it's not really focused on the music. Write a brief synopsis that captures the feeling of the project and informs on a possible story. Now it's time to format your rules page. Take a look at one of mine as an example on the types of things you can include. I highly recommend you host the map with required WIP check-in dates. Work in progress checkpoints are the best way to keep an active eye on progress and motivate your team to keep working at a relatively steady pace. 2 check-ins are really all you need. On the first scheduled day, animators can send in any sort of work they've done so far, just to let you know how they're doing and if anything needs to be fixed. The second date is where more is expected to be sent in, as it comes much later down the timeline. WIP check-ins aren't always added in by hosts, but I've found them to be the best way to track that progress. Animators can send additional WIPs to you at any time, and reasonably space out such checkpoints. Here's where you need to start determining your due date. It's a very opinionated subject for sure, as you need to find the right middle ground for what you're producing. 5 months is standard for mine, but it doesn't work with every host or idea. You don't want to give too much time though, because then people won't start fully working because they'll think they're just able to do it later, only for the final month to hit them, and suddenly they realize they shouldn't have procrastinated because they only have sketches to show, and the end result is due in a week. Yes, it happens. Don't give too much time, but also don't offer too little. It'll discourage people from joining and also isn't accessible for every person. Remember, these artists are doing this for free. The 5 to 7 month range is your best bet for most things. Do not give them a year, don't give them 2 months. Trust me, every map where a year or more is given for animators to work results in the project just staying in limbo, unfinished for ages. I've seen it time and time again. Procrastination is real. There are some maps that are time sensitive, such as seeing what the animation team can accomplish in 1 day, 2 days, a week, etc. It's usually a stylistic choice or rush map. It can work, but I don't think it's wise to start with those. Offer extensions for backup people who join late, or for creators that have suffered a personal situation that has prevented them from working for a decent amount of time. Injury, loss in the family, moving situations, sickness, or other important things. I recommend you keep extensions for the final date to only a few extra weeks. Don't let people walk over this flexibility though. I've started something new. If a person asks for an extension the day of the final due date, they are not getting the same extra weeks as the people who requested one a month ago. Sometimes you need to be firm, but don't forget that patience and understanding are supposed to be used in cases. Again, they are working for free. It's design time next. You do this step before you pick the due date, but I like to put the due date before it on the Google Doc, which is why I'm discussing it now. As characters appear more than once in your map, have provided designs for artists to reference. Ensure they show a majority of the body, are animation friendly, and fit the tone you're looking for. If your map is going to need backgrounds, have clear reference art labeled and ready. Some artists also have a shading or size guide. I make sure to always have the latter now. Once all of that is ready or in the works, plan your parts. What happens here is dependent on the style of your map. Mine are always narrative, and I've written descriptions for part holders to work with. However, you're free to go any route you'd like with this as long as it's easily identifiable for prospecting talent to know what they'd be doing for the part they're eyeing. If you choose descriptions, make them something that could realistically be done. This route is much more friendly and time-saving than having a storyboard, but some animators do prefer such a reference like that. Take your time with the Google document and format it well. Because now you're going to be moving on to creating your community space. All of my maps require Discord. I have found Discord is the easiest way to maintain communication, as animators can check in with each other and you at any point. It also fosters an environment where people make friends and want to keep working. As a host, you get to be way more personable too. Not every host has Discord though, and not every small account will be willing to get enough people interested that have an account. Sourcing or part claiming can happen on YouTube or through email if this step is tricky to you. I don't have a ton of advice on those paths aside from suggesting you have each person provide an alternate method of contact in case your YouTube comment reminders get hidden on their channel or they don't log in at all and therefore miss your messages. If you do choose Discord like I do, make a server in advance. Ready it with all the necessary channels, some general chats and others catered toward only the map. You can head to some of my active ones, get a better glimpse of how I format these. Having a small moderation team is great if you're able to include that. In this server, add channels for people to sign up to claim a part or to register as a backup. Okay, let's say your call is ready now. Before posting, determine how long you want animators to be able to submit part applications for, and what these will contain. I ask for important information and reference point when it comes to deciding by requiring people to send a minimum of 2 dragon animations they've worked on. This shows you, the host, what they're capable of and what their style in your map may look like. Smaller channels, you may not want to have a due date for part applications if you're worried you'll struggle with filling slots. Do select a time for announcements and confirmation of who gets what, but allow people to request position in additional waves or on a case-by-case basis. Have animators list the primary part or parts they want, and then include any others they would be okay with getting instead, if applicable. This makes it easier for you to move things around and assign people to what they're willing to make. Post your map call now and link that Discord server. Ensure everyone reads it as the Google Doc before joining so they know more about everything. And now you're ready to upload your map call to YouTube. What comes next is assigning parts after giving enough time for people to send in their applications. After that, you can host a thumbnail contest to get the final image for the project. You can commission posters and pieces of promo art for both the call and finished map, which is a great way to get the word out there. Or if you're an artist yourself, illustrate some pieces to advertise. I can't stress this enough. As a host, you need to be active and easy to reach out to. If you're somebody who doesn't check certain social medias for weeks at a time, this might not be the experience for you. People will come to you with questions or to ask for advice, and you have to be there and somebody they feel comfortable reaching out to. There's lots of more elements to creating a map, but I do think this covers the major steps. I've had plenty of experience working on completed ones and getting them done in a nice amount of time, and it really is fantastic to see your idea end up the way it will. So, whatever the path you want to take, I wish all of you aspiring hosts some luck. If you have a question on a step or factor I didn't cover, I'd be more than happy to help in the comments. What did you guys think of this video? Is it a helpful guide and is map posting for you? Would you rather be on the drawing or watching side of things? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.